back again, it's showtime, and this time Starlight have asked us to do a really cute hairstyle, which is going to consist of 2 Dutch braids going from the front of the head to the crown into high pigtails. So for this, you're going to need a hairbrush, you're going to need a comb, preferably with one with a pointed end, plastic or metal, something you can section the hair nicely with. You're going to need a clip or 2 to help hold the hair out the way, trusted hairspray, and if you've got it, something like the VO5 gel spray, highly recommended, or something very similar. Okay, that's going to get your flyaways, or your child's flyaways, and all the hair from around the face, and make sure everything's really neat. You're also going to need some hair elastics. Mine are these ones. Sorry if that's backwards. These are from Sally's Beauty, if anybody wants to know where they're from. Try and get them in the same colour as your child's hair, so you can get clear ones, brown ones, black ones. So you're going to need a couple of those as well. That just means that they're not going to show on stage. Try and avoid the ones that aren't very stretchy. They're more sort of hard plastic and very shiny. They don't hold the hair very well, and the light bounces off them on stage. So you want the ones that are not shiny if you can. Now, my hair model today is at school, so I've got my practice model head instead. So she's here in all her glory. So I'll just move the camera down, and then we'll be able to get started. Okay, so you're going to want to start by brushing the hair through. Make sure there's no knots. Very important for this look that there are no knots involved at all. And then, turn you that way so you can see her a bit better. There we go. Then you're going to need to use your comb with your pointed end, and you're going to need to make a nice straight parting from the front round to the back. It's sometimes easier to go front all the way down to the back, although we're only going to need it to about here. But if it's easier to go all the way down, then do. That's what I tend to do. So the best way to do it is to look down the front of the face so that you line it up with the nose. Use the pointed end of your comb, and with the side of it, draw a nice straight line all the way back till you get to the nape of the neck, and then you can pull it apart, and you have, if you can see that, a nice straight parting. Okay, so I'm going to section off this part for now, the other side, doesn't get in my way. I'm also then going to section the first bit of hair. So as I said, we're only working up to the crown, so we want to section it off now so that we don't get everything caught up and then everything's even. The best way to do it is go from the top of the ear to the top of the crown. So this is the section you're going to be working with. So again, use either your finger or your comb, and you're going to section off right to the top. The crown is the middle bit on top of the head, so not up here, it's kind of there, just where it starts to drop down. So section that off there. And that front part is what we're working with, this part here. Okay, so for a moment, I'm just going to put that there. Just twist it, just move it out the way, down there a minute. Actually, I'm just going to grab a clip. Hold on. I'm back. Went to grab another clip. Okay. So, for a moment, I'm just going to pin that out of the way. Then I'm going to do the same on the other side, so that I've got my 2 sections ready to go. So again, from the crown to the top of the ear, that's the section you want. Make sure it's nice and clean. Make sure there's no straggly bits. Makes it much easier for yourself. Put those together. Now, these 2 bits are what we're going to do our braids with. I'm going to work with this bit for the moment. So I'm going to carry that parting all the way down to the neck to get my line back. There we go. Now, what we want to do is we want to get this section up into the high ponytail first, and then we can add our braid to it after. So the easiest way is to brush from the bottom and just keep working the hair upwards so that you get higher and higher. Work it from all sides so you make sure that there's no lumpy bumps. And you want to get this section as close to this part in line as you can. Okay, once you're happy with where it is, we're going to tie it with an elastic. So one of your elastics, and we're going to tie it up here. Right, I'm not quite happy with that. There's a few lumps in there. Okay, so it's nice and tight on the bottom down here, and then at the top it's going to be secured right up there. Okay. There we go. So that's one. I'm just going to do the other one. You will be able to move them slightly if you need to afterwards. They don't have to stay exactly where you've put them, but it just helps to know that they're in place. There we go. Okay, so that's those where they need to be. So now we've got our two pigtails. Now I'm going to let these sections down so we can start braiding. So the section we're going to be braiding is this front section here, this part. Now it's really important to remember that you're doing a Dutch braid, which is where we're going underneath each time, instead of a French braid where we go over the top each time. The Dutch braid will make sure that the braid stands out on the head, so you'll be able to sort of pinch it all the way back. Okay, so for this, we're going to brush it through to make sure there's no knots. I will turn her around so you can see what I'm doing to start with. There we go. So we're going to start here right at the front of the face. Okay, might be easy to use your comb for this. And we're going to section off a triangle. Okay, that sort of size. So any sort of triangle, any size triangle you like. The smaller it is, the tighter the braid will be. The bigger it is, the looser the braid will be, but don't do it too big because you might risk it falling out. We don't want that happening on stage. So once we've got our section, okay, we've got our triangle, we're going to split this into 3. And then we're going to start braiding. So as I said, we're going to be going under each time instead of over each time. Okay. So I always start with the piece closest to the side of the face. It's just the way I like to work. This piece is going to go under the middle section. So we pass this one under the middle and then swap them over. And then we're going to pass this section under the middle like that. And then we're going to go again. This time we're going to collect them up from here. So using your finger or a comb, just a small section, and we're just going into the middle of the braid. You don't have to go all the way under. You're just going to go just here to the middle, okay, just underneath the braid. So a small section like that. Scoop it up with your side piece. This is where, if your child has very thin hair or flyaway hair, you can use some of this spray it on here, and then with your finger or a comb, just comb it through, and it will help keep all of those flyaways nice and neat. So that's joined to our original side piece here, and that's going to go under the middle. So we pass it under the middle like that. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so this is our side piece, and we're going to add to that. So again, section from here all the way into the middle, just underneath the braid. Like that, join it in. So now we've got the original piece and the piece we've just added, combine them together, and that's going to go under the middle, like that. And then we keep going. So again, scoop, join, and pass it under. Again, scoop, join and pass it under. And what you're looking for each time is that it's like a train track effect. So when you look underneath, you should have an almost straight line going across. If it's starting to go like a triangle each side, like a feather, you're taking too big a sections and it will look different. Okay, try and keep it like a think train track. And we're going to carry on doing that all the way until we run out of hair, until we meet with that elastic that we put in the hair earlier. Go one more on the other side just to get these last bits. That's it, and I've run out of hair there now to collect. This hair is the ponytail. I've run out of hair to join in, so we know we're nearly there. And then I'm just going to keep going a little bit further until I meet that hairband. Now, my hairband is here, my braid is here, but I'm going to go a little bit further. If I stopped there and tried to tie it up, it would undo a little bit. It wouldn't keep nice and tight, so just keep going a bit further than you want it to. You can go all the way to the end if you want, and then you can undo the bit that you don't need. I tend to go quite far down. There. Now we need another elastic, and now we're going to combine this piece and the braid together, like so. So tie your elastic around those, make sure they're nice and tight. There we go. Now this bit that I braided, I can undo now. Now it's nice and tight all the way to here. There we go. Now, because I used the same colour elastic as the hair, you can hardly see it, which is what we want. Give it a brush through. And then to make it pop and stand up, when we tighten hair bands, we normally pull them apart. If you just do it with the bottom layer, just pull the bottom layer apart, and you can pull the top bit up. It helps the ponytail to stand up a little bit. So if I spin around so you can see it from the front, it looks like this. On the top, looks like this. See? Into the ponytail. That's one side done. This is the look that we want. Okay? If you haven't got the right colour elastic, or you don't like seeing the elastic, you can cover them. So if you've got one of these, topsy-turvy or a loop turn or whatever you want to call it, you can cover the hair. So we poke it through between the hair and the elastic, so it sticks out like that. Okay, so it's going through the ponytail. Then we take a small section of hair, small but long, and then we wrap it around the hair a few times, nice and tight, like so, till we can't see that anymore. Put it through the loop, and then hold in the loop with one hand and hold in the tail with the other. We're going to pull through like so. And now we can't see the elastic. We've got a nice clean covered band. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. There we go. And then to cover that elastic, I'll show you again. So we put this in between So under the hair elastic is where we put it. Like that. See that? So it goes through just under the elastic. Take a piece of hair, fairly thin, doesn't need to be thick. Wrap it around just a few times. Twice is usually enough. If you pull it nice and tight, put it through the loop, and then hold on to this piece and hold on to the tail of your loop. Pull it through like that, and then that elastic is hidden. That is an extra step, so if you're thinking I can't do that, that's fine. Just make sure your elastics are the same colour as the hair. It's just a nice extra step. There we go. Then we need to make sure they're even. So just a little bit of readjustment to make sure that they're nice and even. There we go. And there we have it. Dutch braids into high pigtails. Good luck, and any questions, as always, just catch me at the studio if you see me around, or feel free to send Tina a message or Kiva a message, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Good luck.